Is it working? I think we're live. Cool. Looks like everything is going, so I don't know. I don't know where I see if anybody's even here or not. Um, Let me see. Over here, maybe? Yeah. Looks like there's a couple people in here. So, yeah. What up, campers? Bear with me. Don't know what's going on. Yeah, we're just trying to figure out all this live stream stuff. It's not like Facebook where it's pretty easy. You just say go live. YouTube wanted me to go out and download a bunch of streaming software, which I then had to figure out. So I think all my sound is working. Um, yeah. Looks like my mic is registering. Things are good. Um, so yeah, if there is anybody up in here, you can hit me up in the chat. I see that for um, yeah. We have had absolutely nothing, so I figured we could at least just get on and chat, and I could go through all the canceled trips that we've had, and then what we've done in the meantime just to stay busy, which is to try and like take care of the RV and get stuff repaired and upgraded. Um, yeah. Hold on one sec. Let me see.
And be playing on my tablet.
Yeah, if you want. That's fine. I think it was just that one thing. So we lagged out. Hopefully, um, I'm still there. Glitched out on YouTube.
We can't play because of that.
Yeah, it took away like my internet connection. Well, it looks like we're partially back. I don't know what's going on, if it was my internet or what. But I think I'm back now. And I think that what you're seeing is way lagged compared to what I have on my end. So, ay, ay, ay. What a huge learning curve. Well, I'll stick with it and just see if we can't figure it out. Um, yeah, but I hope everybody's doing well, and I hope that everybody's staying safe. I'm like complaining about canceled camping trips, but obviously, I'm just happy to have a job still, and my family's healthy, even though this is a little bit better. So, oh my gosh, I see Sunset Seekers up in here and Gone RVing. So, cheers, guys. Hey, how's it going? So yeah, and just, all that good stuff. Although that being said, I really want to get out there and do some camping. We've had like a couple trips that were on the books, and then the kids' spring break was supposed to be next week. So we were going to go for like the whole week, and we were going to meet up with some friends out at River Nook, which is one of our like favorite campgrounds that we've gone to. And yeah, that's a wrap. And then we couldn't get the money back, and it was like $400 for both the spots for the whole week. So we could only get a credit, and then we're like trying to reschedule and just not knowing when we can get back out there and all that stuff. So even though, you know, thankful just for everything that we do have, it's like it's just crazy, and totally agree. Can't wait to just get back to normal. So, and then a couple of weeks ago, we were supposed to be out at Morro Bay State Park, and that was actually when the the like cancellation thing went in here in California where I live. And so they like called us the day before, like on Wednesday, or emailed us and said all state parks are closed, and we'll refund your money and all that stuff. But that one is super close by, and we've actually gone there because we've camped up the coast a little bit in like Hearst Castle area. I don't know if you guys are familiar, but south of Monterey, and we drove through there on the way home because they actually have a dump station, and the place we were at was dry camping. So we went through there and checked it out, and it was awesome. You can like walk right over to the to Morro Bay, actually, which they have like all kinds of seals and otters, and you can like kayak out there, and it was just like walking distance. And I had already been working from home prior to that for like a couple weeks. So we were like getting cabin fever and so pumped to get out there because it's like just the perfect one to like ride bikes at big spaces. It was like dry camping, but then they have the dump station there that you like go through at the end or whatever. And so we were just so looking forward to getting out. And that was a couple of weeks ago. So yeah, we're wanting to get back out there. It's brutal. We try and go a couple times a month because I don't work usually from home, and I actually work like 300-400 miles away, or I guess 200 miles away, 400 miles round trip. So I'm gone most of the week for work, and then that's why we like, and how we got into the camping thing in the first place was, well, not really. We've camped our whole marriage basically before we had kids, and we started camping with the kids once they were like 3-4 months old each. We would go camping and do tent camping and all of that stuff, but like really got into it the last couple of years, like as more of like a all the time thing, because we just got so burned out. And you can check out our channel trailer where I like go into all that gooey, gushy stuff or whatever. But yeah, we started doing it as kind of like a remedy to that, grind and just being burnt out. And we were very career focused and kind of just like grinding through and, feeling very tired and burned out. And so that's why we moved up to the Central Coast where we live now. We used to be in Los Angeles for many years, which, is a crazy place to live and raise kids and all of that stuff. And so, long way of saying I'm gone from home a lot. And when we're home, we try and like really focus on the family and make it, like time that we'll remember and enjoy, and not just like sit around on the couch watching TV and stuff like that, but actually disconnect and all those things I said in the 10 questions thing, where it's like, focusing on family and making those memories and blah, blah, blah. So yeah, painful when you can't go camping, essentially. So, yeah. And then actually we were on the fence. So my son just turned 7. When was that, Cobus? That was like
March 15th.
2 weeks ago, basically.
No,
3 weeks ago now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's April 9th.
Yeah, you're right. It's April 9th now. So, and then we were like, oh my gosh, all this stuff is just happening. So he's March 15th, and that was the day the shelter in place order went in here in California. But we were like on the fence up till then, if we could like stick it out and have his birthday party, because he had this big old party plan for all of his buddies and blah, blah, blah. And no, American, I'm a data janitor, actually. So I'm away from home, scrubbing up spreadsheets, not doing anything heroic like firefighting. Yeah. But yeah, so we didn't know if we could like have the birthday party because there was no like order yet, and like people were talking about it, but we didn't know. And so we canceled the thing that he had at the park. We were going to go do a big park birthday, but then we're like, maybe we should just like go camping because there's a nice place, San Lorenzo. Actually, we did a video review on it like, I don't know, 6 months ago or something like that. But it's a very chill, just mellow park, good for families and riding bikes and just hanging out. And we're like, man, should we just like go there and do like a long weekend? And we were back and forth, and we canceled the birthday party at the park. And then my son really wanted to have his buddies over if he could. And so we decided to like just have something at our house. And that was, a fail because ultimately nobody ended up coming over and we couldn't do it. And so that actually ended up also being like the last weekend that you could hit up those open parks too. So yeah, that would have been like our one last chance to go to San Lorenzo, but we didn't. So what?
You're fine.
Am I just talking too much or what?
We're a little rambly.
Yeah. So yeah, see, your fans want you to say hello.
Want me to say hello?
Yeah.
I don't say hello much. Hi.
Yeah, so she's saying I'm rambling all over the place, but I'm just like walking through all the different canceled plans that we had and why they got canceled. So I know I'm embarrassing you. That's how it
No.
goes.
Just lots of canceled plans.
Yeah.
Lots of fun things that we had in the works, spring break, everything else that we should have been able to do and go to and have fun with that we weren't able to. So, but that's okay.
Yeah. So, and then we also had like this canceled Utah trip that we were going to do over the summer, and we canceled that because I had some work stuff going on, but then I don't, now that's all on hold too. So we've been waiting for like 2 years to do this big Utah trip where we want to go through to,
Zion and Arches and Monument Valley. Maybe even hit up some Bryce Canyon.
yeah, and just do that whole loop and go to like, I don't know, Moab and all that stuff. If you go into the groups and look online, there's like so many awesome routes that you can go and killer campgrounds and all that stuff. But for us, I need a decent chunk of time off to be able to do all that stuff. It's like too far of driving. We got 2 kids, so we can't just drive like 15-hour days or whatever.
Kids that got car sick. Doesn't help.
Sadie gets car sick a lot, so yeah. So that's canceled, but we're going to do some really cool stuff, and I think that's something, we'll look at it as an opportunity because we are still going to try and like go to Humboldt, I think,
Got
this year.
two big trips for this summer, hopefully. The one is up to Humboldt, the 101, and then maybe doing some of the Lost Coast, some of the actual one up in Humboldt County, which Jordan doesn't know about yet, that I'll talk him into. And the other one is to do the Eastern Sierra trip. So we really
Yeah.
want to do I want to really do the Eastern Sierra trip. Go down to, what is it? Where do you start? In Bodie? Or you end up with Bodie and Mono Lake, Death Valley, some of it.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of just that Eastern Sierras, taking that back road up to Mammoth, saying hi.
Yeah, and even that's like pretty far, It's like you kind of need a chunk of time because
need a
that's
week.
yeah, that's gonna be like 6-7 hour driving days. So
To get there.
yeah, just to get there,
And then it's 2 hours. We're looking at doing about 2 hours a day once we're there.
yeah,
So, but you still need a good week to do kind of that loop from starting in Bakersfield, going up,
Yeah.
going east and up, all the way up to Reno.
but that place is awesome, man. If you look up like Eastern Sierras, the
Trona Pinnacles.
the Trona Pinnacles and what is that? Yeah, all that stuff. There's
So
like
much there.
ponds and just hot springs and beautiful mountains.
I see.
Yeah, and Humboldt is where we met. So that is Gone RVing where we where we met was in college. We went up to Humboldt and we were in the Redwoods. We lived in the same exact dorm where where it was like basically right in the middle of the Redwoods. So, yeah, met in college.
Very long time ago.
I had more hair. I was a lot thinner.
I was a lot thinner too.
Yeah, I didn't have like a super gray beard and all that stuff. Yeah, it was awesome. I went there because I didn't know what I wanted to do as a job. I just knew everyone said you got to go to college and do all that stuff. And I thought I'd just be like a general business degree or something like that. So I wanted to go where I could like hike and fish all the time and do fun stuff. And yeah, lucked out because she lived down in the first floor of my dorms. And so I totally like intentionally swooped in for the kill. So yeah, I was, like I said, skinnier and all of that. And that was like, yeah, how did she get to the US? That was critical because like I was from a tiny part of San Diego, which is like a big city, but I lived in just this like small part of East County and had never really traveled out and done anything crazy. And she's like, you know, this South African girl who just moved to the US like 2-3 years ago. And yeah.
So I moved to the U.S. My dad actually had a job opportunity. So he works in IT, and it was in 1997, wherein the IT companies were recruiting really furious, or what's the word?
Like crazy.
Ferociously,
Yeah.
is the word I was looking for people to come help with a big Y2K, the world's going to end computer problem. And so my family moved here. I was a sophomore in high school when we moved here. So, long time ago.
Yeah.
That's where it all started.
Yeah. So she spoke all these different languages. I could like barely speak English. Yeah, it was very, very cool. So yeah, and then we were like into the same stuff, even though we're totally different personality types or whatever, but we like both like going camping and going out in the redwoods and going hiking, and she'd like come with us when we'd go play frisbee golf in the middle of the redwoods and all that stuff, or go fishing out in Hoopa. So yeah, we were both down for that, and that's continued on in our like adult life. So
Yeah, it's before he knew how crazy I was about dogs and animals in general. But I got the outdoor stuff going, so he figured it out pretty fast.
yeah, yeah, definitely. And they did all that stuff in South Africa. They were like avid, you know, hikers and outdoor types and all of that stuff, and like adventurous with the food and everything, and like, you know, eat fish that you catch on the beach and blah blah blah. So
Basically, like every other American that's not from East County, San Diego.
yeah, I don't know. I was very much a picky eater and American foods and all that stuff. So I was a pizza and cheeseburger type kid, I think, growing up. So yeah, but eventually we'll get back out there and do some.
Eventually being hopefully really, really soon, because I'm definitely getting
Struggles.
a little more cabin fever than everybody else in this household. I'm an extrovert. I like being around other people. I just like camping in general. I like everything about camping. So
Yeah.
I need to be outside and around humanity
She needs some human contact, and I'm like,
more than just the immediate family human contact.
yeah, and that's how I know she needs it, because it's like I'm probably perfectly fine to just like sit in the house if I'm not camping or doing whatever, which is why I had to like focus on camping so hard, because I will just like chill out if left to my own devices. But I'm already feeling like the super cabin fever. So
I've been feeling cabin fever since day 2.
yeah, so that's how I know that she needs it. Cheers, man. Thanks, American. I appreciate that, bro. Yeah, Yeah, we like doing it too. We're just doing it for fun. And like, I love going on YouTube and watching RV channels, honestly. And I figured our contribution is like we live in a certain area. And so we could film all the campgrounds that we go to on the Central Coast because it is kind of like a popular area. Jacobus. Yeah.
Oh, yep, he's off.
And yeah, so that's why we got into it, is just like, hey, it's cool to be able to go online and check out a campsite that you're thinking about going to, or finding one that you didn't know, and being able to see like, oh my gosh, is my rig gonna fit there? Do they have hookups and da da da? We're not trying to do anything crazy. I just like, it gives me enjoyment. My job is to do like spreadsheets and stuff, and I do like research as a job, and so I'm on a computer doing spreadsheets and math and numbers. So it's a way for me to just like be creative too, kind of, and like find music to put with the thing and try and like come up with a good video that shows what up with these campgrounds and whatever, and if we think they're good, if we think they're garbage, if it's worth going to, if it's too expensive, or just all that stuff. So
Should we do a little pop quiz and see if anybody remembers our most expensive campground that we've ever been to? Give them a couple minutes to answer. We'll come back to that.
yeah,
Just for fun.
yeah, or how much it was per night.
Yeah, what's
which
the most
is,
expensive campground you've stayed in? We can do that one.
yeah, most
Okay.
expensive per night campground. I'm curious because that one,
We had one, and we went for a wedding.
yeah, and it was insane. So
And it wasn't our type of camping. It was crammed in camping, and it just was.
it was like sardine can
It was
type
great,
camping.
but we had fun.
Yeah,
We made the best of it.
yeah, it's still fun. It's always fun.
It's always fun when they email you after the fact and charge you $30 for burning a hole in the artificial grass because the campfire got too hot in their provided fire pits.
Yeah.
So
Won't go back there, which is why that's a good video too, because it shows people like not to bother spending that money if they don't have to. So yeah, that's the goal. So yeah, other than that, we're doing some repairs. I've been working on the truck, and I'm not obviously a mechanic or anything. Oh, Sunshine Key, Florida.
oh my God. So here's an interesting part about anything with the word key in Florida is when we got married a long time ago, we were supposed to go on our honeymoon. We were supposed to take a trip from Miami. We were supposed to fly to Miami, go down the Florida Keys, spend a week in Florida Keys, and then fly out to the Bahamas for a week. And then 2 days before we got married, a hurricane destroyed every single ounce of planning that we had.
It wiped out the airport.
It wiped out the airport in the Bahamas. It had wiped out, it was in September of 2004. It wiped out a whole lot of things. And a lot of places ended up shutting down. So we are dying to go to I would love to go back to the Florida Keys. I was at the Florida Keys when I was 12. And I on a trip that my parents, we flew from South Africa to go to Disney World and do a couple other sites. But that was my one and only time in the Florida Keys. And I love it. And I cannot wait to go back.
Yeah, I want to go there too.
So bad. But good to know. So we'll skip whichever the most expensive one was in Sunshine Key, and we will go for the cheaper options.
Yeah, even Sunset Seeker said the KOAs are super expensive, and they are. They add up. Sometimes we go to those because the kids like the amenities, but the ones that we went to, Adventure Bandits wants to know the expensive ones. The ones that we went to, the Monterey
Carmel.
was like.
It was like $135 a night.
No, I think it was like 150 a night or something like that. Cava Robles, which is up
In Paso.
in Paso Robles by where we live.
Super popular. Everybody raves about it.
Yeah, it's
Like,
very nice. We've gone through there.
We drove through it. You don't say we gone through there like we actually
No,
stayed
yeah.
there. We
No, we
drove
just drove
through
in
it.
our
It's
car.
10 minutes from the house.
Yeah.
So we wanted to go check it out. But they are the heated swimming pools, bars, swim-up bars type of place. Karaoke's. And I think they're right around 100 to 120 a night,
Yeah.
depending on the season.
Yeah. So
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it was pretty insane. But when we went to the Carmel one, it was like we were going for a wedding, so we were going to be in a hotel that was going to be expensive, anyways. But yeah, that's why I totally agree with Sunset Seekers. The state parks are the bomb. That's why Morro Bay, and what's the other one that we like? That's like by the beach. Remember we
Morro
went?
Strand,
Not Morro Strand.
San Simeon.
San Simeon. Yeah.
San Simeon was fantastic.
That was awesome too. And then just like we want to do more boondocking. That's why we threw
Yeah.
that money into our
Batteries, generators.
yeah, the one, yeah, exactly. American, the one on the by the amphitheater.
That's
There's two. It's the same owners. There's another one
yeah,
called
it's across the street. Yeah,
yeah, but it's across the street. So
yeah.
yeah, it's pretty nice out there. But the boondocking is even funner just because it's free and usually you get to like spread your legs. We have a bunch of dogs too, so
Have you
usually
noticed?
yeah, you can't take the dogs to the parks, and our dogs are super nice, but they're big and they scare people.
And they're restricted breeds, so we have both a pit bull breed and a German Shepherd breed, and then the fact that we have three dogs and three big dogs. So a lot of people or a lot of places will have breed restrictions on both the German Shepherds and on the pit bulls specifically.
Yeah.
But also they'll have limits, so you can only have 2 dogs instead of 3 dogs. So
Yeah.
yeah. So we tend to prefer the BLMs just because we can go do what we want to do.
Yeah.
Take the golf cart and have the kids drive the golf cart around. And
Totally. And like I just love this, even just the state parks and stuff too, because it's like subsidized camping. You're already kind of like paying for it in your taxes and whatever else. And so, hey, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Thanks, Mike. I'm glad you guys are doing good. Yeah, it's been a learning curve to figure all this stuff out. That's why I've been like working outside and doing the upgrades and stuff like that. And I'm like trying not to spend all of our money on RV stuff, but I really want to do my like big things that I want to do is, and I'll try and get this down, but it's just like some basic maintenance that hopefully doesn't cost a lot. So I want to like fix that roof from when I ripped it off when we went to Wheeler Gorge, which is a perfect example of like a state or a county park, right? That one was only like $25-$30 and it was
Yeah.
super
it was
awesome.
dry camping and it was awesome.
Yeah.
We had a great time camping there.
Totally.
It's a fantastic campground, but you shouldn't drive in the dark.
Or have like a giant trailer like we do.
Or just
so.
have a, well, yeah, you should also
Ours isn't
shouldn't
giant, but just
driving in the dark
Yeah.
to a very unknown campground.
Yeah, it was pitch black too, so it's dry camping. You can't see anything because
It was
it's
a new
just
mode.
so dark. And
And you're up in the mountains. There's a lot going on.
so yeah, when I ripped that awning off, I
People are
tore a
looking at
couple
you.
tiny holes in the roof. So I want to climb up there and see, if I can't get those cleaned up and all patched and whatever. I think I'm gonna try and take a stab at re-greasing all the bearings
That needs to be done.
because
Yeah,
we're
okay.
basically about a year and a
Move into it.
half in, although we haven't used it in like 2.5 months now. So do that, see if we can't get those down. I'd love to get an inverter one day going in there so that we could use some of our 110, from battery power. I actually want that more than the solar panels. Our batteries are,
Although, what do you really want to run? That's 110. So let's have this quick discussion because this is something that we really haven't talked about much, and I'm actually curious
I just
because
want the
I know what
ability.
I want. So I'm curious as to what Jordan wants.
I want to be able to charge stuff, camera stuff, all that.
Don't
And just to have the option, I think, to plug stuff in if we want to use the regular coffee maker instead of using the
Percolator,
the
yeah.
percolating thing.
Yeah.
Little stuff like that. Movies, if we want to let the kids like watch a movie at night and you don't want to like fire up the Jenny, you know what I mean? Just mostly stuff like that. I mean, we have the generator, so when we're boondocking, we could
Provide power.
yeah, exactly. Have power and run AC if we need to and all that stuff. But it's just nice sometimes you don't, you don't want to fire up the Jenny, or you're just chilling and you just want to be able to like charge your phone and whatever. We have like some 12-volt USB plugs that we can use, and those are fine for charging camera gear and stuff like that. Mostly it's just
And we did
just to
really
nerd
well.
out for
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. So that was Jordan's list. My list is one thing and one thing only, which is I want to be able to run our Instant Pot. Because that's my most used cooking appliance, and although we get along without it totally fine, I think it's just one of those things that I've grown so accustomed to in the home and in the Sticks and Bricks that that's something that I would say I would love to have, and that's one of the only things that I would love to have. I'm like, I could do without the TV. I'm not a big TV person anyway, but I could do without a lot of the things. But yeah, I would say having that power for things just to be able to do a quick pot of rice or even quicker
Yeah.
anything else would be huge.
Oh, look, Gone RVing said go to Holtville Hot Springs. That's so funny. I actually have been to Holtville many times. We used to, well, I grew up in East County, San Diego, right off the I-8 there. And we grew up going to the desert at Gordon's Well and
Glamis.
Ocotillo, Glamis sometimes, but also going to the Colorado River for boating and all of that
Yuma.
stuff. And so everybody usually went to like Yuma and like Fisher's Landing and Martinez and all of that stuff. I went with a family who went to a place called Lost Lake, which is just a little bit further north on the Colorado River. And so we would drive through Holtville every time, and we'd stop at the 7-Eleven there and blah, blah, blah. So that's totally funny that you bring up Holtville. Spent many years driving through Holtville. So, American 1B says, I have small car batteries with charging ports for that. Yeah. And, the other thing that we did get, and I should do a review on these, but they had them like for so cheap. It was one of those like, yeah, the Lit Mobile. It was
No.
like some shady ad on.
You know what's super funny is I actually earlier today I was watching I like watching the homesteader YouTuber channels, and I would love to one day be a homesteader as long as I could see a bunch of other people while I'm homesteading. That is. But they actually had an ad for the Lit Mobile for the exact packs that we have. So they're not that shady.
Well, yeah, no, I thought it was kind of like one of those things that I was like taking a chance on when I saw the ad, but it was like three for the price of one,
Yeah,
basically.
it was like $80
It was like $80 and I got 3 of them. And these things seriously are like, they're like this big, and they are solar charging, so you can leave them out in the sun and they'll like charge back up.
Forever.
It takes
when you do
days.
that.
Yeah, it takes days
But-
even plugged into the 110.
Yeah,
So.
takes overnight plugged into the
Yeah.
110 to basically charge it. But they're super worth it for things like, because we went those 6 days, 7 days that we were boondocking over New Year's. We've used them
Yeah.
so many times since then too. We've used them when we were at, where we ripped the awning off.
Yeah, when we were at Wheeler Gorge. Yeah,
we
exactly.
use them too, and it's so fun because like we can charge not only the phones and the camera stuff, but in lieu of the 110, we could also charge the kids as tablets.
Yeah.
And then we charge one at a
Charge the
time.
phones, charge
Yeah.
the tablets. We
great to
charged
have.
the GoPro, which was key. So those things are awesome. Keep an eye out because they'll do those crazy deals that you can get like 3 for like, $60 or $80 or how much ever it was. And those things are the bomb. So.
And I like Gone RVing's comment about a turn-a-bond for the roof. Like we
Oh,
actually
yeah.
ended up with the Dicor, getting a bunch of Dicor self-leveling
Yeah, I heard the tape's better.
tubes, but
We'll have
go
to
with what
see.
we'll figure it out. Right now it's duct tape, so either one of those is going to be better than what we have now.
Yeah. No, I want to get, and they also said make sure to get a minimum 2,500 watt pure sine wave
2,000
inverter. Yeah. What did I say? 200?
500.
Oh, yeah. 2,000 watt.
You just upped it.
Hey, well, a boy can dream.
Yep.
Yeah, no, definitely. I was looking at actually the Victron Multi Plus, I think is what it's called. But that one's kind of like the converter charger thing, and it's kind of like a smart switch in it, I think, so that like it'll switch back and forth. Like it'll sense basically when you're on shore power, and then if you're not on shore power, then it will like invert basically, so to keep you going. But it's expensive, and even just like the 2000 watt pure sine wave inverters are pretty expensive. But I watched that couple Fate Unbound, and they had that like smart transfers, or they had like this transfer switch and then the smart charge converter thing, and that looks pretty slick too, to just be able to pick up. But even that, I looked up their setup on Amazon, and it was like over $1,000. So not a necessity. We have the generators, but it's just one of those, like, I make RV videos anyway, and so I always want to like nerd out and make some cool upgrades to my thing, even if they're not justified. That's why we haven't done the solar. I've had a couple opportunities where I saw super cheap panels, like 170 watt panels that were like $80 or something on Craigslist. And I almost drove up there and bought, 4 or 5 and just totally dialed in the solar. But then I was like, then I need a charge controller and then the inverter to get the power back out of the batteries, essentially. And so we ended up just spending like the $689 to get the Harbor Freight generator, because that was like the more all around and economical solution.
Yeah, that's a Predator.
Yeah, the Predator, the 3500. So we can run our AC with that, and it would be cool to have a totally tricked out trailer with all this awesome solar and inverter and the Victron and all that stuff, but it's just not really justified financially. So that's secondary. But I think having that battery monitor, the Victron thingy, the BMV
That's going to make
712.
a huge difference, because I cannot tell you the amount of times that Jordan has woken up in the middle of the night just to check the batteries and then freak out because they said 1/3. And I kept telling him, well, 1/3 could mean we're at 65% instead of 67%.
Yeah.
And can we just go back to sleep, because this is not something that we're dealing with right now.
Yeah.
So
I get anxiety ridden about if we're running out of batteries or just where we are. But when I put in that battery monitor recently, it was crazy, because as soon as the light dropped from being totally full down to the next one, you think you are at 2/3, and having that battery monitor, you can see you're still at like 90 something percent. And so it's just, I think the rounding on those stupid built-in light panel that you get is just not very.
it's basically saying you're not full. You're not at 100%. You're under 100% on that first one. And, it sounds much nicer that I'm saying it now than when it did at 3 o'clock in the morning when you pushed the button and said, we're at 1/3.
Well, and I just worry because it's like, again, we don't have like the best batteries in the world. We have.
Do we have? We've got the.
We have their U.S. battery. They're like the 2200 something. It's a 232 amp hour, 6 volt. So we have 4 of those. 2 wired in series each, and then wired together in parallel. So we have 464 amp hours, but they're still just like the flooded lead acid batteries, right? So it's like not good to draw them down past 50%. And they're not like super expensive, but they were still like $145 a piece, and you can't just replace one. It's like they're put together to make one 12 volt cell. We have 2 of those packs of 2. And so, if you tear them up by draining them down past 50, then it's like you got to replace, it's 300 and something bucks. So that's why. And then also, you just never want to be out as a dad with small kids and a wife and stuff. You don't want, you don't want to be out in nature with nothing and just like, oh, sorry guys, your dad totally like just dropped the ball, and now we're
Now mom can't have her coffee, and now things are going to get real bad.
Yeah. So no, I don't know why. It's just in my nature to be that way about worrying about resource conservation. I'm an economist by trade, so resource scarcity is what the name of the game is. So yeah, that's kind of what we want eventually down the road. Actually, one of the projects I think would be super cool to do down the road is I've seen these guys. I forget the name of the channel. I think it's like beginning from today or something like that. I'll try and update the description down below later if I can remember the name of the channel. They're pretty cool, but it's a guy and his family, and they're redoing this old bus. And
Schoolie?
no, it's not a school bus. It's like an old like Greyhound
transit
bus. Yeah. And they got it from Mexico, or I don't know if they got it from Mexico, but they, took it down to Mexico and got the whole like body work done and replaced all the glass. And yeah, they're tricking it out, and it's very awesome. But the thing that they did that I thought was really cool that I would love to nerd out on one day and try and do is they took a wrecked Nissan Leaf battery and wired it up to make this like humongous lithium 48-volt lithium ion battery pack that was like I forget how many amp hours, but they like had power for days essentially, and they had the Victron and all of that stuff. So it was like they could like boondock. They could potentially, I think they put in the soft start thing too, so they could like run AC, and then he just had like a ton of solar panels up there. It was very, very cool. I don't need that, but it would be fun just to have like a killer, awesome, big lithium pack that you could run down to 20%, you know what I mean, and really squeeze all those amp hours out of there. But we're mostly weekend warriors. We don't full time, so it's like we're never really in a situation where we would need 14 days of consecutive power, because we can charge when we drive and all of that stuff, and we have the Jenny.
And ultimately, the tanks are going to
Yeah.
be the limiting factor anyway. So
Yeah, even with the batteries that we have now, it's like essentially and now that we have the generator too, in particular, that we will definitely run out of tank space before we run out of power.
absolutely. And we've been doing pretty good with a lot of our kind of boondocking essentials like the solar shower. We've been doing a lot better job of managing the tank.
Yeah, the gray tank especially is a lot better to manage when you wash your hands outside and can do that kind of stuff.
But then once again, just I think, and we should do a video on this at some point in time, but managing the black tank and the very, dare I say it on a live thing, but the very dreaded poopsicle when you're trying to manage water and manage tanks, you run into a bunch of other issues. So power, I don't think will ever be our limiting factor. I really do think that we'll end up being limited by our tanks.
I think so. It's more just like a fun thing to nerd out on as a hobby project. Yeah. So no, but I've never heard actually.
Ambulance batteries.
Yeah, Gone RVing said Will Prowse has some good solar. I've watched his stuff. He's a G. He does all kinds of cool stuff. I have seen the composting toilet too.
Actually, something that we should think about.
I don't know how that would work for a family of 4. I just got to do more research. I'm open to that too, because again, it'd be fun to be able to do those big long trips and stay on public lands.
As long as you can.
Yeah, and just like, because it's going to save you money. It's usually like more
just more
enjoyable,
fun.
honestly. Yeah. And like, when we, even just the BLMs around here, like at Upper Sweetwater and Williams Hill,
yeah.
It's like killer sunsets. Nobody was out there. You were like able to take those things. So
we spent 4 full days at Upper Sweetwater, and there was only one other person there.
yeah,
I mean, we spent more than 4 days, but for 4 whole days, we were the only people, and then one other set came in.
yeah, definitely.
So it's definitely our style. More our style.
Yeah. So we got to find some more public lands. I think there's a lot around us.
Around us.
Luckily, I think we're lucky out west and like west of the Mississippi, basically, because there is like a lot of public lands. You see people like out in the East Coast and stuff. They don't have as much like national forest and BLM and
BLM specific.
and all that. And we need to take more advantage of that stuff because it's the bomb. And we have like Los Padres National Forest close by,
And
and
that
then
runs from, sorry to interrupt, but that runs
Yeah.
from like northern San Luis Obispo County or even into Monterey County,
yeah.
all the way down to Los Angeles.
I didn't realize that.
Miles, and I didn't.
I thought it was
either.
like to Santa Barbara, and that was
That's
it.
what I
and
thought
then,
too.
Yeah.
And it's funny because when we were at Wheeler Gorge, it's funny that Jordan said that because when I booked Wheeler Gorge originally, he was like, "Okay, cool. Where are we going? Is it somewhat local?" And I said, "Yes, it's in Los Padres." And we were both like, "Yes, awesome. It's like right down the road."
Yeah.
And then we looked it up and we're like, "How is it 3 hours away? 3.5 hours away?" So and there's trails and spots all along the way. We just really have to find the good ones and the ones that we can fit into because as we've now found out, we can't fit into all of them.
Yeah. Oh, and this is a pro tip for all the people who are on like Facebook and stuff like that. What we did was we started a WhatsApp group
Yes.
with just us, and then that way, and we just named it Campgrounds. And so like whenever we're in the group and people post killer pics of like a campground that they went to, it's just like a text thread between us basically that's like dedicated for campgrounds that we want to check out. So then we can like have them all in one spot and we try and put the link in there or whatever.
Yeah, so unlike text message, it just kind of groups it together by whatever you decide that deciding factor is. So you're not scrolling through 8 pages of text messages and grocery shopping
Yeah.
lists to figure out what was that one campground I told you. This is just, it's super awesome because it's right there and you can just say, campgrounds, da-da. We have several of those. We've got camping meals, we've got
Yeah,
video
meals,
ideas. There's
Videos.
a lot of them that we have. So it's just between Jordan and I, but it's really awesome to have that. It's
Yeah.
nice and makes it a little more organized.
What are the ones? Yeah, camping meal ideas. Oh yeah, and like
Christmas-
trip planning. We'll have
Christmas
like
vacation.
Humboldt trip. You know, we're gonna stop here. You know, this date and blah blah blah. So WhatsApp is a good tool for just planning stuff, planning videos, planning meals, and all that stuff. So yeah.
Huh?
What else? Yeah, I think for the next couple of weeks, maybe we'll do some more live streams if I can get my like software stuff figured out. And then I think also we can do some like summaries of like our top 5, you know, campgrounds and recycle some of the clips that I didn't use in the videos from the different
And we can do some updated videos about organizing.
yeah,
the
camping
trailer.
meals. I want to do some camp meals that are like zero actual cooking, like or minimal cooking. So like taco bar or like one pot thing that you can do in the
Instant Pot.
instant pot or even in the Dutch oven over the fire, where it's just like
Yes.
minimal sandwich bars or like the omelet, you know, in
Omelets
a
in a bag.
bag thing,
That's a good
so
one.
that it's like stuff that you could really prepare way in advance. And then do, you know, so that way when you're actually cooking, it's like 10-15 minutes or minimal effort, you know. That would be a
Or
cool
let's be real, we'll just call them the hangover meals.
yeah.
Because who wants to really cook when you're hungover?
Yeah. So, the couple we mentioned did a great video on finding great. Oh yeah, totally. Jenny has like all the boondocking skills, and actually, where she,
We got a lot from them too. Learned a lot.
yeah, and she puts out. I think there was like 2 or 3 apps that she recommended that we got, and then also just how to use the. There was one website in particular that she mentioned, I forget, but I have that as like a favorited video. She hooked it up, and a lot of them are in our like neck of the woods, kind of like, or, you know, because they're brothers up in Seattle or whatever, and then they go, you know, all the way down to like New Mexico and all that stuff. So we should definitely hit up that video and check out that website, because I remember that one being really good. Yeah, we'll definitely do some more Poiki.
Yes.
Nadia's
Can't
brother,
remember.
really good Poiki when we were at Sequoia,
Yeah, that was a fun one.
RV Ranch.
Yeah.
and that was
Good one.
different and really good. So there's like, what you have a Poiki
And
book?
so I was just gonna say.
Isn't the
so,
Poiki book right here?
No, it's in the trailer. Well, we've got several Poiki books now. So over Christmas, when we went to my family, my mom gifted me my grandmother's Poiki recipe book, which I figured you guys would find fun because even though it's all in Afrikaans, yeah, we got that one.
We'll hit up the Let's Braai.
But the Poiki book, even though it's all in Afrikaans, which was interesting about it, and one of the funnest little facts, it basically had a gas station logo. One of the big gas station chains in South Africa called Caltex. It was produced by Caltex, so it's produced. South Africa, you can pick up your Poiki Kos books produced by the gas station. Which was a lot of fun to look through them all. But yes, a lot more Dutch oven cooking, a lot more Poikis coming soon.
Yeah.
I Overlander, yes, it's one of them. I Overlander's a good one. RV Parky's a good one. I have a ton of them. I have a whole folder full of them.
Yeah. So there's a Alaka. Yeah. Now there's a lot of fun things that we can do. I think that was like a double bummer too, because we were going to have like all this extra footage. It's not just the campground trip reviews that we were going to do. We had like a bunch of cool cooking recipes and other videos that we were going to do out there. I was going to do, because somebody asked on our channel about the loading a golf cart in the back of your truck and how do you do that. I guess I could still do that one downstairs in the driveway. Kind of loses its oomph when it's in front of a residential
area, and it also
house.
It helps when we load it here because we can face the truck downhill and makes it a little bit easier. But yes.
Oh, Wayne, sweet. He got a new 17-inch Blackstone. Yeah, just use it out back, man. I love doing burgers on the griddle, honestly.
You'll get to use it for everything.
Use it for everything, but I just love a straight-up regular burger on the Blackstone. There's something about a griddled burger. I've just grilled so many burgers in my life. Mm-hmm. But when you put it on the griddle, and then the other thing that you got to
Philly cheesesteaks.
Yeah, those Philly cheesesteaks are definitely bomb. Just freeze some steak so that you can slice it like super duper thin, and then you can hit that up. But the other thing I was gonna say is to get a bacon press.
Yes,
that is the bomb when you flatten out that bacon, and you can use it on the smash burgers and stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but the bacon, when you flatten it out and it gets all super crispy, it's bomb. I know. Hey, tell Nadia, I wish I could get an ATV. I'm dying for a quad. Jacobus really wants a quad. So.
Yeah, that's why we didn't get a quad, because the kid needs to learn how to drive first. Because until he learns how to drive, he shall not be on an ATV.
Yeah.
Let's start him on something a little slower.
I think you know, back in the day, that's, we were taking way more chances.
Well, I grew up driving trucks around farms, so I get it. But
going to the desert, you go, ride quads and three-wheelers. Like when I have pictures. Actually, I got old videos of us going to San Felipe, Mexico, when I was like 6 months old, and my mom's like riding a 185. Actually, I think it was like even a 110 three-wheeler, no helmet, with one of those like metal cage, hiking 35, 40-year-old baby Bjorn like hiking backpack things, and I didn't have a helmet obviously either, and I was like 6 months old. So I think I'm a little bit more, I guess, risk loving. But no, I agree. The golf cart was like the happy medium that I could sell this one on. I wish I would have got the ATV, believe me, or actually the side by side. I think is the true. Really? That's the true compromise, because it's got a roll cage, so the safety aspect is there.
The price is just wrong.
Yeah, see, she said, remember riding in the back of a bakkie all the time?
All the time.
Exactly.
I get it. And we actually did that. It's so funny you mentioned that the last time. So just a very quick, funny story. My sister is married to a German guy. We were in South Africa 2 summers ago for my grandmother's 90th birthday.
And we stayed on a farm.
We stayed on a farm because that's what you do. And we had the farm hands take all the boys and the kids on a bakkie ride, on the back of the bakkie ride. And you have never seen a German guy wearing his little polos and Rockport's
Back of the Baki.
back of a bucky, being very, very unhappy. So that's happened.
Wayne says the fried rice looked bomb. It was. The fried rice is, we've done that many times now. The pork, especially if you do, well, I don't know. It doesn't really matter, but
Pork or chicken, anything.
yeah, but just you hit that on the Blackstone so that it gets kind of like a little bit of that seared outside, and then you do that key with the egg into the rice, and then you cut the power, you cut the heat right when you throw the egg on, and just let the heat from the rice and the meat cook the egg through, so that you just get that kind of ooey gooey,
Eggy rice.
yeah, bomb rice.
Definitely good.
Oh look, Joe said new sub. Thanks, Joe. Cheers, man. Thanks for watching. So yeah, and then there's all kinds of cool stuff. What other good Blackstone things? Well, I'm into the 321 ribs and doing the Weber thing right
Doing a
now.
lot of grilling, which is nice. And honestly, that's why if you don't have a Blackstone yet, consider the Tailgater, because there are certain things that I still like grilled, like lamb chops. I know a lot of people do lamb chops on the Blackstone, on the actual griddle, but there's just certain things that you still want to grill for, and having something like the Tailgater is a really, really good, fun way of cooking, because you get the best of both worlds.
Yeah. Oh no, JN said my take on COVID-19 and recession talks. I'm already clocked out of work. Yeah,
Send him the link to some of your work podcasts.
we're COVID-19 all the time on the work front, because it's obviously going to impact the housing market, which is what I do research for as a job. So I think second quarter's kind of a wrap, and it'll be a humongous challenge from a GDP standpoint, but hopefully we'll bounce back at a decent clip. I think it's going to take a while to recover. We've already had 16.6 million people file for unemployment. That's like, over 3 weeks, we've already done basically half of what we did during the Great Recession, so of 2008, 9, 10, so which took 2 years to put up like 35 million unemployment claims. So yeah, it's going to be rough for a couple of months, but I think if we can get past it, then we'll figure it out. So
All right.
yeah, the egg hint is the key. You got to do with the egg. Yeah, the Philly cheesesteaks are bomb. So.
Really, really good.
Yeah, I'm planning to. It's always a good time to own property. I did a speech with a guy down in San Diego like a year ago, and the guy said, I had all these like fancy charts and stuff, and like 40 slides and whatever. And then this guy gets up there and goes, "What's the number one best time to buy real estate? 20 years ago. What's the second best time to buy real estate? Today." And that pretty much like sums up the long-term outlook for real estate. It's still always going to go up. It's a way for regular people to make a leveraged investment. I always joke in my speeches that like if you walked into a bank and said, "Let me borrow $500,000 because I got a super hot stock tip," you'd get laughed out of the bank. But if you walk into the bank and say, "Let me borrow $500,000 to buy a house," they let you do it, and they don't ask you to split the profits. So I'm very pro housing, but that's only how we pay for all these delicious camping toys. That's the ultimate goal. So yeah, I'm an optimist, but a realist. So I think that as long as I can get back camping soon, then I'll be happy.
The wife will be even happier. The sooner we can get camping, the happier I will be.
Yeah, and I think we might have to go to one of these like, $70-$80 a night type places so that she can get lots of human contact and a place with a little maybe bar or something that we can go and socialize or something like that. I think she'll be happy if we can even just like go out to dinner sometime soon.
Like I would love to driveway camp, but by now you guys have seen our videos and you've seen how impossible our driveway is.
Yeah.
We're barely holding on parking the trailer there. And hi, Runaway
Yay! What up, guys?
So So yeah, we're barely getting by parking the trailer. I would not want to put my slides out in that trailer because we're just going to end up in the neighbor's yard across the street down the hill.
Yeah.
So I'm going through some serious withdrawals and
Well-
being everybody that can go camp in their driveway right now.
Yeah, one of these days I want to rent a bobcat and just go crazy in my front yard and make a whole path. We have like a cool area out back where we could easily put like
Yeah.
a trailer or park our trailer back there and just set it up so that it's got a super nice view and, you know, let people stay there. So,
Or we could even do one of those sea trains. One of those fun little ones, yeah.
yeah, what is it?
Containers,
Yeah,
the
container.
containers from the
Yeah,
container ships.
totally. Like, oh yeah, if you guys are into like just other non-RV
What's
stuff
there, Cheryl?
that
That's just fun.
there's a couple that made a shipping container house, Life Uncontained. That's a good one for you guys to check out. Yeah, good job, Wayne. They're bomb. They have a lot of cool camping videos. We're big fans. So, yeah, those shipping containers would be super fun to do. So I think we'll have to just look. There's so many cool things that I want to do. So I just need to like win the lottery so that we can actually afford to
So
do
who all
them.
wants to chip into a GoFundMe? Let's figure this out. We're gonna do this.
Yeah, slush fund. No, so yeah, that's why it's all about the prioritizing. But you know, again, I'm with you. If we can get out there by the end of May or early June, then I think we're going to be pretty happy campers. In the meantime, I got stuff that I want to work on the trailer and the truck and just getting the golf cart all dialed in. We have been taking the golf cart out and about around town and stuff like that. So, or in our not
in our
real-
neighborhood. We're
neighborhood.
outside of town,
Yeah,
so
we're not
very
in town.
fortunate that we don't really have any police presence. Well, we have police presence, but they don't really care. We're
Right.
country living up here.
Yeah.
We're a good 10 minutes out of town, so we get the kids can drive the golf cart here, and we can drive the golf cart without it being street legal. Not too much of a hassle, which is helpful.
Yeah, totally. So yeah,
Helpful when you're getting cabin feverish.
we're gonna do that. We're gonna do, like I said, the roof, and I might look into getting some of that Eternabond tape, like you said, and then just do the edges around with Dicor. It's raining anyway, so I can't do it for a couple days. So I just have it like taped and bagged over so that it can't get any moisture in there for now. We still got to get our awning replaced from where I ripped it off, and then
Everyone's closed right now, so
yeah, but they're not working. So
we'll
and
get there.
it's riveted in there, so that's the only thing that makes me a little sketched out to get in there. So hey, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And oh yeah, looks like I've already rambled on for 65 minutes almost. So, but that's pretty much it. We talked about all the trips that we had to cancel to Morro Bay and San Lorenzo and River Nook, which River Nook is the bomb. If anybody ever gets a chance to get out to Kernville, California, you can do like whitewater rafting. The river's there to just like hang out in. They have like a separate thing where it's like kind of an off cut. So we'll put a link to that one in the description for anybody who survived through all the way to the end. But we're gonna make some plans now, because the one upshot of all this stuff is that I have like a lot of extra vacation time unused now that we won't be able to use till the second half of the year. So hopefully we can book a couple of good sized trips and make up for all this stuff, and maybe even probably not go and do the Utah swing this year, but at least do like a good week or two up by Humboldt, and then maybe have one more, I don't know, like you said, Eastern Sierras maybe.
Yeah, I think
So-
about the Humboldt trips in the Eastern Sierras, if we can get those in. And actually, our River Nook trip, which was supposed to be for this upcoming week, we actually just moved that to the end of June. So hopefully
Right.
we'll just be able to put that one right in between some of our bigger trips and just enjoy our time there.
Yeah, and then next year will be the year that we definitely do the Utah loop and
Fingers
all of
crossed.
that good stuff.
Hopefully
So
over spring break or fall break when it's not too crazy, huh?
yeah, cool. So
Thank
hey,
you guys for watching.
I know that was awesome. I appreciate it, and it was a lot of fun. And we'll try and do this again. And yeah, I think that's it. So thanks again, and happy camping when we get there. Bye.
I liked your live Q&A. Look, I'm sticking my tongue out in that part.
Yeah, don't. Hey, why are you don't spill that everywhere.
Why are you drinking Danimals?
That's exactly what my question was.
This is the last one. Mommy, somebody commented on your phone and said, nice job, great live Q&A.
Were you
I gotta
watching
go,
it?
cheers.
I know.
For like a minute before I came up here.
That was good.
That was good.
Yeah, you're supposed to like go and just ramble for like an hour.
Dude.
That's the whole street. I think so.
And like we are recording it, we like,
Exit out of everything. All right, let me go make that dinner because it's been sitting downstairs for over an hour. I was coming up here.
can you?
Oh, to tell me to hurry up and eat.
No. I have to make dinner.
Oh,
And then I got
Can you give us screen time, Daddy? Daddy,
what, baby?
this girl traded me 8 things for 1 neon rival wolf. I did great. I just said more, and then she gave me more. Mommy, what 8 things for 1 neon rival wolf?
Bye.